Yes, good morning, Spurs family. The toast is burnt, the tea is strong. Hang on a sec. I'm sorry about that, guys. I had a bit of an issue. I've had an absolute nightmare this morning. Let's start again. Good morning, Spurs family. The toast is burnt, the tea is strong, and Levy is still holding the purse strings tight. Smash that like, and let's get into breakfast with pure Coys. I have had an absolute nightmare this morning. Got up, took my daughter home, stuck the laptop on, and nothing was working. I've had an absolute nightmare. I've been trying to get it to work. I think I've got it, but we will see. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. I am flying by the seat of my pants a little bit this morning. So, guys, how you doing? Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Let's say hello to the chat to start off with. Big up, Milton. I hope you're well, buddy. I hope you had a good weekend. Lukey, big up, Luke. Hope you're well, mate. I will see you later tonight. Jun, big up, mate. Hope you're well. Coffee and a chill. Exactly. No, I haven't even got a coffee. I went to make a coffee. I've got no milk. So I've got water, but I have got chocolate biscuits. So all good. All good. Razzle, big up, mate. Hope you're well. Paul Watkins, big up. We are so Spursy. You're absolutely right. Rich, hope you're well, mate. Yes, the club is, well, let's hope. Let's hope. Cheers, good. Whew, that's a relief. At least you can hear me. Not sure Spurs laptop is working. No, it's yeah, different day, same old Spurs. Big up, Simon. Another week of silence coming. This is a concern, isn't it? We have now flown out for the tour. I'm guessing they've made it safely. I hope so. But we have no more signings going on that tour currently. And for me, I can't see anyone signing now until we get back. How long are we away for? Was it 10 days? Something like that? We're away for a while. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next 10 days. I got a feeling all our business is going to be done towards the end of the window now, which is really disappointing. But it's typically Tottenham, isn't it? It's kind of what we do. So let's get into like any sort of news that's coming in. That I've seen. This was the main one. This is the one I wanted to bring up that I saw last night. How true it is, I don't know. And it's breaking news last night that Lille are negotiating with Tottenham for Antonin Kinski on loan. I mean, guys, have you seen this? What does this actually mean? Because we've only got really two first choice keepers. We've got Vicario, we've got Kinski. Neither of them are fantastic. Vicario's a great shot stopper, not great with his feet, a bit of a flapper. And Kinski's the opposite. He's very comfortable at crosses, very good with his feet, maybe a bit too overconfident sometimes, but I like that in him. But his shot stopping is not up to Vicario's standards. So I don't understand why we are thinking about loaning Kinski out when that gives us only one first team goalkeeper. Surely we're not going to be going back to where we were last season. So guys, I don't understand it unless we are signing a new keeper. We will see. Yeah, maybe Donnarumma incoming, maybe. Yeah, you're right, Milton. Being a Spurs fan, it's in a relationship with the most toxic person ever. Absolutely. Big up, Phil. I did see you there somewhere, mate. Big up, buddy. Hope you're well. Razzle saying does confuse me, especially after Austin. Yeah, Austin awful. I mean, it happens to keepers, I know, but surprised by that. Did anyone see Wolfie Forest fan who said Levy didn't even activate the release calls correctly and tried to con them? I don't know. I mean, I kind of get the impression Levy is usually pretty good at that sort of thing, but it wouldn't surprise me if we tried to tried to do something, and we'll quickly touch on the Morgan Gibbs White. I don't want to talk about it too long. It's a bit like our last manager. I don't want to talk about him anymore. But the Morgan Gibbs White thing it's just weird from start to finish. We allegedly activated his release clause. Morgan Gibbs White never once come out in the media or in public and said, I want to join Tottenham. Forest or Spurs, neither of them complained to the FA, even though they both threatened it. I don't know, it all feels a bit dodgy, but it is what it is. He is now staying at Forest and we move on from him. We move on. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Levy tried to do something a little underhanded. But it is what it is. It's done and dusted now, I guess. Luke, nothing wrong with a flapper. Absolutely. I mean, it depends what situation you're in, but I kind of agree. Vuskovic can play goalkeeper. Well, he's big enough. He's big enough too, but Jun said, not a fan of Kinski personally. I mean, I like him. I don't think he's, like I say, his shot stopping definitely needs improving, but he is still young. But I just think he's really good with his feet. And I like that. And sadly, the way football is now, you need to be good with your feet as a goalkeeper. And let's not forget that Frank does like to play out from the back. So we will see. His shot stopping, it is questionable. No, I will agree with you on that. It is, but, like I say, he's young and he's able to get better. Paul said, transfer deadline day, out none. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. We need to get rid of players, don't we? We need to get rid of players now. And, let's see what happens this week. Surely something's got to happen, hasn't it? But we will see. Big up, Matt. Hope you're well, mate. I just don't understand how anyone defends Levy and Enoch. It's hard to when this sort of window happens every single summer. It's very rarely that we have a good window. We had a good window in that first season under Ange when we brought in Vicario, Maddison, Van der Ven, and the like. But since then, the last two summer windows, last season was really poor, in my opinion. And this season so far has been a 3 out of 10 for me. I don't know how you guys feel, but spotlight Ange in, absolutely, mate. I know your love for Ange. It's all good. It's all good. You never have to hide it from me. Milton, the Champions League money is going into new hotels. Yeah, sadly, maybe it is. But Levy has come out and said he wants to win the Champions League. He wants to win the Premier League. So we will see. I need to stop leaning on the table because I'm shaking. It feels like, must look like there's an earthquake going on in the West Country. Spot on Spurs. All the top outlets say we triggered the release clause. Morgan Gibbs White agreed his contract with Spurs. There is more to this story. There definitely is something not quite right with it. But only Spurs. I've never known any other transfer when a club has, activated the release clause, and this has happened. Only Tottenham. Rich and Kinski's got biscuit wrists. Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? If you could, like I say, if you could mold Vicario and Kinski into one keeper, we'd have a really good keeper. So would you guys buy another keeper this year? I mean, we're not buying anyone, but if you could, would you buy another keeper this year? And would it be a number 1 or would it be a number 2? I'd love to buy another keeper, but who? I don't know what keepers are out there. I don't really pay a lot of attention to keepers, if I'm honest. Milton said, my honest opinion, Nigel, I think Romero will leave on deadline day. If Romero leaves on deadline day, I will say I think the protests will ramp up significantly unless we brought in a player before of equal quality. Big up, Philly. Hope you are, mate. Big up, Nigel, Luke, and everyone in the chat. Are we talking about Mr. Flappy Vicario? We're talking about Vicario. We're talking about the news that Kinski could be going out on loan, which will leave us really short in the goalkeeping areas. Yeah, let me know what you think, Philly. Would you get rid of Kinski? Let him go on loan? Would you bring in another keeper? Are you happy with the amount of keepers that we got and the quality that we have? I don't understand selling Keeley and then letting Kinski go on loan. For me, I would have been bringing up a Kinski. If you're going to let, not a Kinski, Keeley. If we're letting Kinski go on loan, fine, but then put Keeley as your number 2. But we sold him now, so weird. Simon saying, I'm not going to see Spurs play until I see transfer dealings. Yeah, well, this next week or two could be painful. We've got some really big games, so it's going to be interesting. Levy means he wants to win the league and Champions League, but him having a Football Manager on PS5, yeah, quite possibly. They wouldn't even win it on that, mate, because they wouldn't spend the money on there either. Spotlight on Spurs, and big up the Philly. Razzle Dazzle said it would be my priority. What, a goalkeeper? It wouldn't be my priority. Yeah, no, it wouldn't be mine either. But with Kinski going, allegedly, that would leave us short. So I'm a bit confused. Maybe it could just be rumours. You know, it probably is. I'd rather replace other areas. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the other areas. Obviously, we need a number 6, or a top class midfielder. We could do with a left winger if Sonny goes. Even if Sonny stays, we could do with some quality out there because we have about 700 and they're all a bit meh. We could do with the top quality striker, get rid of Richarlison, bring in not a backup to Solanke, but someone who effectively takes his place. Maybe Solanke could be the backup then. And a left back, definitely a left back. We have gone, and we'll talk about this in a minute. We've gone on tour at the moment with one recognised left back, and that recognised left back, of course, is Ben Davis, who most people don't even want at the club anymore. So Milton saying, keeper's not a priority. We need a 6, striker, cam, and left back. Absolutely. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do me an absolute solid and like and subscribe. I can't even find it now to bring it up. It's been one of those mornings. But yes, subscribe to the channel. It would be much appreciated. Rich saying, does seem odd regarding Kinski. I don't rate him, but surprised for him to be leaving. Think we have priorities elsewhere. Yeah, I kind of agree. Big up, Sheriff. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, hope you had a good day yesterday and the meat draw went well. So let's have a look at the tour, because this is obviously the names have come up of the people that are on the tour and the players that are not on the tour. And I'll first of all go on the players that are not on the tour. So the players that haven't gone are Destiny Doggy, Takai, Manuel Solomon. They all remain at Hotspur Way. Obviously, they have injuries, niggling injuries. Takai isn't fit. And they stay at home alongside Radu Dragusin, Kulusevski and Brian Hill, who continue their rehabilitation. Mikey Moore, Alfred Devine, and Danes Scarlett have been left behind to find loans. So lots of players left behind. Obviously, people with niggling injuries. But worrying about a Doggy. I thought it wasn't a bad injury. Obviously, it must be worse than he first did if he's not traveling with the squad at all. But the players in the squad are as follows. It is Abbott, Austin, Bentancur, Bergvall, Basuma, Byfield, Danzo, Davis, Donnelly, Gray, Gunter, Johnson, Kinski, Kudus, Lancashire, Madison, Odebear, Porro, Richarlison, Romero, Sarr, Solanke, Hyun-Min Son, Spence, Tao, Van der Ven, Vicario, Vuskovic, and Yang Min Hyuk. So you look at that squad and you've got to say, guys, haven't you? It is not a Champions League squad in any way, shape, or form. It's a concerning squad for me. We look really, really short in a lot of areas. Like I say, left back, just one left back is all we're taking with us. We desperately need some, I wouldn't say cover. We need some competition for Doggy at left back. And midfield just doesn't look good enough. Strikers, it's all a bit disappointing, isn't it? This squad currently, we are into 2025. We are in the Champions League, and this is the squad we have. Now, for me, goalkeepers are okay. Again, we've just talked about Kinski. If he goes, then we're not okay. But yeah, goalkeepers are okay. Defence, we're pretty solid. I think we need left back. So I think we're one player short in defence, but midfield and forward areas, I think we are so short, even though we've got a lot of players. There's a lot of players there, but not a lot of quality. So midfield, I think we need 2 in midfield. Let me know, guys, what you think. I think we need 2 in midfield. I think we need at least a winger and at least a striker. I think maybe on the right, we're okay with Johnson and Kudus. Kulu can play out there. But, we don't want to go into this position. You've got other teams who say, Liverpool, we're short in this area. Bish, bash, bosh, done. Arsenal are saying we need a striker. Get it done. Chelsea just buy whoever they want. Man City, they recognise where they're short. They've got it done. Spurs is just like, it's okay because, we got Davis. He can play left back. We got Van der Ven. He can go out to left back. Let's just go buy another left back. I don't quite get it. It's weird. Ben Davis started against Arsenal on Thursday. Absolutely, he will be 100%. Milton saying hello. Robbo Ranks, big up, mate, saying we should go all out for Eze now. I kind of agree, but if he's talking to Arsenal, then does it seem pointless? I'm at that point where it's like we are Tottenham Hotspur. Sometimes we talk about Spurs as if we are like, a championship side. We are Tottenham. Sure, we're not where Arsenal are. But why can't we go and say to Eze, look, Arsenal need to sell. They're not going to put an offer in for you until they've sold a few players. We'll give you the money now. 200 grand a week, bish, bash, bosh, get it done. We can only say no. But I don't know. It's a concern. But we have chances. We have 5 weeks to sort this window out and to get us back on track. Would have been nice to have the players in now, but we haven't. Let's hope we can do it over the next couple of weeks. But I don't know. I know, obviously, deals go on when clubs are on tour, but I would have thought we would have got it all done before we went. Big up, Mark. Mark said, Mark Army. Looks like the under-21 squad to be. Yeah, well, the squad isn't weak, but it's just not as good as it should be. Brennan is there. So, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I can almost see you singing Johnson, ole, ole, there in my little mind. Razzle Dazzle's saying, actually makes you depressed seeing how bad that squad is. It is disappointing, isn't it? The amount of great players we've had over the years, and we are now stuck with a squad like that going into the Champions League. But that's what happens when you finish 17th in the Premier League, maybe. Just saying. Rich saying we've only got one forward that's good enough in Kudus. Sad times. Yeah, absolutely. I think it was on another show. I think it was on Savage yesterday. And he was saying that 16 forward players and you probably keep 3 of them in Kudus, Madison, and I think it's Kulu. I mean, maybe Solanke for me, but, the rest are much of a muchness, aren't they? Razzle Dazzle saying, I think we play 4-2-3-1 and the 2 in the middle. You need a DM and another box-to-box midfielder. I agree. We need some sort of destroyer in the midfield, and then someone who's going to get all over the pitch. And there's players out there. We can do it. There are players out there. We just got to, we've got to do what we never do, and that's recruit well. So we will see what happens. Ben Davis against Saka, long day. Yeah, maybe. But we have got to remember, it is pre-season. Where is it to be disappointing if we lose like the next 3 games 3-0? It will be disappointing. Of course it will. It is pre-season. And I've seen pre-seasons before when we've absolutely smashed every team in sight and then started the season and been bloody awful. So I'm not going to take it too seriously. It is a question of getting minutes in the legs, getting the players used to the new system that Frank wants. It would be different if we're still under Ange and we were getting stuffed in friendlies. Then the alarm bells would ring. But new manager, new system, new philosophy, I think it's going to take time. And of course, we've not got the players we want in yet. So it's going to take time for them to get the players that we need and the system working properly. I don't expect Spurs to fly out of the blocks this season and be winning 8 of the first 10. I think it's going to be very much first 10 games. We might win 5, drew 2, lose 3. It's going to be a bit uncomfortable maybe, but I think we have to back this manager, and hopefully the club will. And this is my issue, is all the fans need to say you need to back the manager. The club say you need to back the manager, but how can we back the manager when the club's not backing the manager? By the way, I'm not saying I'm not backing Frank, but the club need to back the manager for the fans to be able to back the manager is one of them. And the club need to do their job this year and back him. Philly saying a loan might benefit Kinski. I'm not overly impressed by any of our keepers at Spurs, but unfortunately, there are more pressing concerns, like in other areas, like midfield, forward, September the 1st, 7 p.m. Yeah, there are other areas, but what I don't want us to do, mate, is get rid of Kinski and then have Austin as our number 2, because then I think we are in trouble if Vicario gets injured. I don't think Austin's of the quality. He might do okay for the odd game. I don't think he's of the quality to come in for 7, 8, 9 games. I think that could really hurt us personally. I don't want to see that Goalkeeper celebration. Not on Thursday. No, we can do it any other time, just not Thursday. But you know what? If Goalkeeper scores on Thursday, I'd rather him do it against us on Thursday than the Premier League. So we will see. We will see. Simon saying, spot on nights, 2 midfield players and 2 strikers left back. Yeah, I think that's what we need. Hopefully we will get at least 3 of them in, but let's see. Spurs Napoli, big up, mate. Saying priority is left back 6, Paqueta from West Ham, just 30 to 35 million. Striker, left winger, let Tal Odebert make their spot there. Maybe. It's big seasons for both of them this year. They need to impress. I feel a little bit sorry for Odebert because he has been injured most of his Spurs career. So let's see what he does this season. There's definitely talent in there. Whether he's good enough, I don't know. I'd like to see an experienced winger come in, someone who's been there, seen it, done it, a Grealish type player. But there's no doubt Tell and Odebert have got something, but I'm just not quite sure what it is. Paqueta, I'm not sure about Paqueta. I'm not a massive fan, I've got to be honest. And do you think West Ham are going to let Spurs go in after getting Kudus and just be like, we're our Paqueta as well, please? I mean, maybe, but I'd be surprised if we got Paqueta as well. But let's just see. Let's see what happens. And Razzle Dazzle saying exactly that. West Ham won't sell to us again for another 15 years. No, quite possibly not. Milton saying, I've always loved the old school 4-4-2. Yeah, absolutely. Can't beat a good 4-4-2, mate, can you? Guys, if you haven't and you're watching this for the first time, please do me a solid. Please like the stream and then please subscribe to the channel. I really would appreciate it. Chasing down that first 1,000. Apparently, when you get to that first 1,000 unicorns and rainbows, you get all sorts. There's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and everything. So hopefully I will get there and I will let you guys know if that's actually true. We will see. Yeah, there we go. Big up, Joseph. Hope you're well, buddy. Simon saying, what's happening about the naming rights and the investment coming in? Well, absolutely nothing as far as I'm aware. I don't know. I thought it was all done a couple of weeks ago. A bit like Morgan Gibbs White. It seemed everything was falling into place. Spurs were becoming a massive club. We were going to do things. The quad was on, and then everything has stopped. Yeah, I have no idea what's happening with the naming rights and the investment coming in. It feels like nothing's happening at the moment, doesn't it? It's one of them. It's frustrating. Really frustrating as a Spurs fan at the moment. Joseph, Mr. Miss bag of results also. Yeah, it will be. It will be a big mixed bag of results. I think we just got to give it time. Milton saying, question notes. Can you see Frank being here in 18 to 24 months' time? I'm going to be completely honest. No, not currently. And that's nothing against Frank. I think Frank's a good manager. But if he's not backed, then absolutely no way. You know, one thing we've got to do is back our managers. You know, Ange was backed the first season he was here. I don't think he was backed the second season. We have to back Frank on that first season. You know, we have to get to a point where teams like Arsenal are now, where they can just go out and go, right, there you go, 80 million, one player, we're sorted. You know, we're in a position where we need 6, 7, 8 players to go into our squad. And when we're only bringing one first team player in, and the other players are either players that were on loan last season, didn't overly impress, bar Danzo, and a young kid that we know absolutely nothing about, then for me, that's not backing a manager. So if we back him, Frank's got a chance. If we don't back him, Frank, we'll be in this position in 18, 24 months, 100%, which is really sad. Simon saying Tyler Dibblin incoming. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we signed Dibblin, to be honest with you. I mean, I quite like him, but again, we've got so many young wingers. Mikey Moore obviously looks like he's going up on loan, and you know, Tao and Odebear pretty much the same age. So are they going to get? What's going to happen there? For me, we've got so many young wingers that it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Cheers, Joseph. Much appreciated, mate. Morning, audio. Hope you're well. Simon saying, I would not be surprised if we get Conor Gallagher. I love Conor Gallagher. I think he would be the perfect player for our midfield. A player that gets all over the pitch, strong tackler, gets forward, does score the odd goal as well. But it's just and he's a leader. He's a captain. He would almost certainly be our captain. Give it a season, might not be straight away, but give it a year and Gallagher would be Spurs captain. Now, I know he's Chelsea. I know he's a Chelsea fan. So this is going to be a difficult deal to do. But if we could get Gallagher, I would take him absolutely hands down. Big up, Sheriff. Yeah, one day, mate. 12 months' time from now, Morgan gives white signs for Man City. Wouldn't surprise me. No doubt they've put that release fee up to probably 85 million now. I'm getting a little concerned. Richard saying, I'm getting a little concerned for Frank now. I expect us to improve quite dramatically. But if we carry on as it looks like, he's going to be under immense pressure by the time the Premier League starts. Yeah, I feel for him. You know, he's basically taken over a squad that finished 17th, and we've got one extra player in now that starts. And as much as Kudus is a good player, make no bones about it, he's a good player. You know, he alone is not going to take Spurs to that next level. We need 3 or 4 Kuduses in the team in different areas. And Anthony Robertson at left back, a Polinia in the midfield. For me, Jack Grealish out on the left, and then your box-to-box midfielder. If it was a Gallagher, maybe a Gallagher, that kind of player to really take us to the next level, and a striker. For me, you know, there's so many strikers around, you know. Why? I mean, I'd love a Vlahovic. I know he's not proved it over the last couple of years. I know he's not been the best for Juve. He's had his injuries, but I just think he would fit Premier League football. I think he's got the stature. He's good in the air. For me, I like him. He'd be a sort of striker I'd bring in. But there are so many good strikers out there. What we have to do is scout a little bit better. Our scouting is the worst. Philly saying, smash a like and subscribe to Nige. Pure Coys, one of the best. Oh, thank you, buddy. I love you. I will slip that £5 into your account later. Simon saying, spot on, Milton. Audio, can see one of Sonny or Richie going and Eze coming in. That would be amazing. Listen, if we got Eze and Sonny or Richie went, or both, all would be forgiven. But I just can't see it. If we wanted Eze that badly, why haven't we already got him? But, you know, maybe we're going to be forced into moving big now, because there's no doubt the fans are getting restless. We always get players that suit the manager. Yeah, I think we're just moving differently now. I think we get players that suit the club, you know, because let's face it, most managers don't last past 2 years at any club, really. So, players outlast managers. So they always have to be the right fit for the club, I think. Joseph saying Conor Gallagher, young player of the year. I don't know how many times. As I'm a Chelsea. Okay, you're a Chelsea fan. Do you rate Gallagher? I mean, he's a good player, isn't he? I know he's always not pretty on. It's not always pretty on the eye, but he's a decent player, and I think Spurs need decent players. We've not got many. Audio saying, I reckon the deal for Gallagher would involve Romero going the other way. Maybe. Maybe or Bentancur going the other way. I know they were interested in Bentancur. I know that Atletico have signed a centre back, haven't they? So they've almost got their centre back that they were going for. So maybe it might give them first option on Romero for next season. We might do a little deal where we say, give us Gallagher. If Romero wants to leave next season, we will give you first option on him. But we'll see. We'll see. If we have the same injury crisis as last season, we're in dire straits. I mean, yes. Yeah, of course. I do think we'll still finish higher than 17th. I think what you'll find is, anyway is we're in the Champions League. We're not going to go far in that, not with our current squad. So I think we will be concentrating more on league football than last season. Allegedly, we chucked the league to go for the Europa League. I don't think that'll be happening this season. I think it would be more focused on the league, and the Champions League will be just a nice little distraction. Levy's happy. He's getting his money. I don't think he cares whether we get into the knockout stages. I think he's just happy to be there, to be honest with you. After last season, who would have thought we would have made the Champions League after finishing that low? And let's be honest, even if we hadn't chucked the league, I still think we would have been finishing 13th, 14th, which just isn't good enough for Tottenham. So I agree. I think we will struggle if we get an injury crisis. I don't think we'll be as bad because I think Frank will make us more solid and we won't concede as many goals. We certainly won't be going forward as much and looking as open. Aussie Frank Lover, big up. Hope you're well. Razzle saying we are going to get desperate towards the end of the window and end up with more average players. And that's what we do, isn't it? That's what we do. We get desperate. We buy anyone. And then within a year, 18 months, they're deadwood. They're more of our deadwood again. Let's hope not. Let's be confident. Big up, Tweak. Hope you're well, buddy. Morning, Rayman. Thank you for the comment you put on one of my videos. I think it was yesterday, regarding the Morgan Gibbs White deal and like buyout clause and all that kind of thing. It was an interesting read. Of course, as a fan, you just don't really, I don't get it. I just like, we've triggered the release clause. What's the problem? But obviously there is a lot more to do with it than just as we've found out. Razzle saying we will be out of the Champions League early, so can't use. No, absolutely. Champions League, we'll be out within. By the time Christmas comes, we'll probably be well out of that. But you never know. We might sign 4 top quality players and then we're looking differently, aren't we? Rich saying Romero needs to sign a new contract. If he doesn't, got to cash in. Could involve Gallagher in a deal. Yeah. How long has Romero got? Has he got 2 years left? So after this year, it'll only be 1 year. Yeah, I kind of feel like if we're going to, we could still probably command 40, 50 million from next season, even with 1 year. But I think, again, this is something that should have been sorted out ages ago. If he was going to go, he should be gone already and we should have a replacement in. But this is how Spurs work. And it wouldn't surprise me, no, if he was part of the deal. Champions League does produce great money. It does. But for me, as nice as it is to be in there, as nice as it is to hear that music, I'd take the Europa League next season again and try and win that. If we finish in the Europa League place, whether that be Europa League or Conference, I just want Tottenham to go all out and try and win that. That would be fantastic because that night in Bilbao was something special. Milton saying that's the problem. We overpay for average players. We won't stump up the money for world-class players. No, it's true, but world-class players wouldn't come to us. What we need to get is the players that could become world-class. So when we signed Modric, obviously we signed Bell. Players that have the could become world class. And then we go on, and that's what Tottenham do, isn't it? We get these players young. We hope that they're going to become great players, then we can sell them on for massive fees. Sadly, that's what Tottenham do. Travis, big up Travis. Hi, why do Spurs not want Sesko or Samu? I can't even pronounce that. Omora Dion. I don't know. I've never heard of the second guy, but Sesko. Yeah, I don't understand why, if Newcastle and for players like Sesko, why can't Tottenham? I just honestly don't think Tottenham. I think the fans see that we need a striker. I don't think Tottenham think they do. I think Tottenham are quite happy with the striking options we got. We got Solanke, we've got Richarlison, obviously. We've got Sonny can play up there. We've got Johnson who could possibly play out there. Tao. We've got options, but none of them are of any real quality. I think we need a striker, but I'd be amazed if Spurs actually went out and spent decent money on a striker. I think if we do get one, it'd be if Richarlison leaves, and it will be a 15 to 20 million euro striker that we've probably never heard of. But we'll see. We'll see. Dazzle saying, we were shocked when we were trying to sign 2 players quickly. Not much faith myself that we're bringing 4. No, I'm not saying they're going to be of great quality, mind, but I still think we're going to bring in 3 or 4, but it will be towards the end of the window. And I don't think we'll be happy with all the signings we made. I mean, let's be honest, none of us as a fan base, we're never massively happy about all the players we sign because we got different opinions, but we will see. Sheriff saying, this is what the new stadium was built for. Signing top players on top money. We were sold alive from Levy. Yeah, absolutely. We were. And Rayman said, not wanting to descend into any Ange in out hoo-ha, but Ange got it. Just like Fergie used to. It's the player you're enticed to sign. We clearly didn't put effort into getting Morgan Gibbs White to North London. No, I kind of agree with that. And whereas I didn't rate Ange as a manager, he did get players in, his phone calls were obviously legendary. So, obviously, yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing if Spurs just hit that release fee, that release clause, and then just left it. Surely we would have been working behind the scenes and really convincing that Tottenham was the place to be, but clearly we didn't. Samo's a striker for FC Porto, absolute mustard. Yeah, I like him. I've seen him. He's a big lad, isn't he? Big lad. Samo was 21. Oh, right. Okay. I didn't realise. Yeah, his full name threw me a little bit. Went from Kane and Son to Solanke and Pigeon. Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's not even Kane and Son, is it? It's other players. We've Kane, Son, Sheringham. I mean, let's go back. Ferdinand, Everson. I loved Everson. But Robbie Keane, Berbatov, Defoe. So many good strikers. Archibald Crooks, going back in the day. Clive Allen. So many good strikers. And at the moment, currently, we have absolute pants up front. But hey, Rich is saying elite players are not going to Spurs as an attraction. Forest have a better project to sell. It's the ownership that has created this scenario. Yeah, that's really sad, isn't it? But you look at the signings Forest have made over the last couple of seasons, and they've signed some top players. They've got a really good defense. They've got a good keeper. I like their midfield. They've got a dangerous strike force. Forest are doing well. And Spurs, listen, we've got the attraction. We are Tottenham. We're in London. Beautiful stadium, beautiful facilities. But I think players come here and they just, maybe having really great facilities is not always a good thing. Maybe it doesn't push the players enough because they get here and everything's laid on a plate for them. I'd love it. Go into work, get a massage, bit of fruit, get out, train on a snooker pitch, come back in, another massage, nice lunch, 5-star hotel style cuisine, maybe have a kip in the hotel and, happy days. Big up, son. Hope you're well, buddy. Love you. Need to catch up this week. Always loved Super Pav. Yeah, I love Pavlyuchenko. He was one of them, wasn't he? That he wasn't the first choice, but when he come in, some of the goals he scored, absolute bangers. Absolute bangers. You forgot Klinsmann. Of course I did. Yeah, how could I forget? Yeah, Klinsmann, world class, absolutely world class striker. Probably the only world class player we've actually signed when he was world class. My only issue with Klinsmann is that he only stayed a season. And I know he come back for half a season a couple of years later. But, you know, for me, yeah, Klinsmann was a great striker when he was at Spurs, world class striker. But yeah, I hold other strikers that we've had closer to my heart because they were a bit more Spurs for me. Milton said, off topic, but is it true that Liverpool get an Isak? If so, hand in the league now. It looks that way, doesn't it? I think they're selling Diaz to Bayern Munich. Looks like that's almost gone through if it hasn't already. And they've got an absolute bag full of money to spend on Isak. I think they get him. And yeah, I think they do win the league next season. But I will say this, there is pressure on Liverpool. You know, last season there wasn't. I can remember the manager coming in after Klopp and a lot of people saying, oh, Liverpool, you know, they're not going to do it. They've lost Klopp. It's going to take the manager a couple of years to get them to where they want to be. And of course, they won the league. But now, because they wouldn't expect it to win the league, maybe with that expectation, they spent a lot of money. Maybe that pressure might just be put on them a little bit. And they have bought, what, 3, 4, 5 first-team players that drop straight into that team. Listen, as a Spurs fan, I'd love it. But it might just take them a while to click. I am clutching at straws, but I think Liverpool win it. I think City will run them close. And sadly, I think Arsenal are going to be there or thereabouts. Now they have their striker. Travis saying Murillo and Milenkovic are effing units. Yeah, both of them. I'd take both in a Spurs shirt. You know, imagine having those 4 as your back 4. You know, 4 centre-half options and Murillo, Milenkovic, Van der Ven and Romero. Now, that is a defence to choose from. But, yeah, no, Forest have made some really good signings. Jason H said, morning, Nige, morning, mate. I think seeing a club sack a manager who wins a major trophy might put players off coming. It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's a difficult one. If you look at it just in isolation, then, yeah, I kind of agree. But I also think finishing 17th in the Premier League might put players off coming. So I think it kind of works both ways. But I totally get your point. Big up, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, I had an absolute nightmare this morning. My laptop wasn't working. Obviously, when I started the show, I had YouTube on the background and I thought I'd muted it. I hadn't, so I had to go back into it. And because it's a different screen, because it wasn't working, I had to look around for it. Yes, I had a bit of a nightmare start to the show, but we're there now. And that's all that matters. That's the thing. When you're live, you never know what's going to happen. Things sometimes just don't work. Wirtz, Frimpong, Isaac. Yeah. And of course they've got the Bournemouth fullback as well, haven't they? So yeah, they look really strong. Not just pressure, those players need to adapt to the system, which I think they still work. Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be easy for them, but they've got enough quality there to. They might not fly out of the blocks like people expect, but I think it's going to be a bit like City. Remember when City always started a year, you know, before Christmas, they'd always lose 3 or 4 games. And you'd be like, oh, City don't look strong this year. And then January hits and it's bang, 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 win, win, win. And they just absolutely march to the title. I think Liverpool might be a little bit like that. I think they might start a bit slow. You know, they're going to win a lot of games, but I don't think they're going to be flying. And then suddenly after Christmas, I think the momentum will start. And I think you might see Liverpool then get enough points to win the title. But it's going to be a good season. I'm looking forward to it. What's the go with Takai? I know absolutely nothing about this guy. I'm not going to lie. I know nothing about him. You know, he's come from Japan. He looks decent from what I've seen. But let's be honest, whenever we sign a player or whenever we're interested in a player, I don't know whether you guys are the same. First thing I do, go onto YouTube, type his name in, watch the clips. Oh, he looks amazing. He looks brilliant. And then when we get him, they're not always the same. So he looks decent. Let's see what he does. But for me, he's not going to be a player that goes straight into the first team anyway. Raz was saying he got injured in training, hasn't been heard of since. Yeah, That's typical Spurs, isn't it? Already, we haven't even started. We what 3 preseason games in, and we've got Takai out. We have got Udogie out. Is there any more? Solanke got injured. I know he's on the plane now. Obviously, Bentancur was out ill. We seem to be picking up like illnesses and injuries already. But let's just blame Ange for that. Blame Ange for now. So we're blaming him for that as well. Rayman saying, love your morning chit chat's nice. Thanks, mate. It's trying to find a spot where there isn't people on. As a small channel, you just got to take what you can get. And because I'm self-employed, I don't, I can work around this a little bit. So not going to start work till 10 a.m. today. So Mondays and Fridays, I'm going to be doing a little bit of breakfast with pure Coys. Hopefully by next Friday, we'll have a few players in. Obviously, we'll be talking about the Arsenal win, and there'll be plenty to talk about. Milton saying, I hate to say it, but Chelsea are a dark horse. Yeah, they could be. Chelsea are a funny team, aren't they? Because I actually think they looked quite decent towards the end of last season. Obviously, they won the World Club Cup, but again, they're signing players for fun. I'm not quite sure how many they've signed now. I can't keep up. They probably only signed 4 or 5. They just seem to be linked with everyone. But again, it's involving those players into the team. But if they can, then they're definitely going to be in around the top 4, definitely. Milton saying, we are cursed. We seem to be. There is a rumour, isn't there, that an Arsenal fan put an Arsenal shirt under the centre circle of the Tottenham Stadium, but I'm sure that's not right. Lily Whiteyear, big up, Nige. Big up, mate. Loving the channel. Any transfer rumours for us Spurs? All gone quiet. No. No, to cut a long story short, no. I did see this come out, as I've still got my like and subscribe on. If you haven't, please like and subscribe to the channel. It really would mean the world. I am chasing down that first 1,000. I feel like I'm getting there slowly. Let's see how many we got. We have got 904. So that's good. It's gone up a couple this morning. If anyone else wants to subscribe, I really would appreciate it. Let's see if we can get to 910 today. That would be amazing. So I did see this as I removed the like and subscribe. Again, it's a bit more on Mainu. And it is that Tottenham have made contact with a potential signing of Man United midfielder Kobbie Mainoo. The North London club love Mainoo's versatility. Of course we do. We love players that play in like 100 positions, and have made an informal inquiry about a potential move to see how difficult the deal will be. That sounds to me like in all of that, it's all just speculation and pretty much a load of rubbish. But we will see. Let's see. Some crazy voodoo hex. Absolutely. And Milton saying, I can only sub to you once, mate. It's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame you just can't keep subbing. That would be absolutely fantastic. Mainly saying he played well in their preseason game. He's probably just added 10 million to his price. Yeah, he is. He's a good player, though. I like him. He is another young player, but he has Premier League experience. He's played in the Premier League for a couple of years now. I know he had a bit of an iffy season last year. Of course, still a young player. Got injured quite a bit last year. Found it difficult to get back into the first team. You got to remember, United bought a lot of midfielders last year. So it would have been difficult for him to get himself back in. Change of manager, of course. I think he's really good. And I think, Rich is absolutely right there. I think Mainoo looks superb in the Euros. He was fantastic for England. So I'd love him at Tottenham. I think he'd be a great signing. Sort of profile we want. He's English. He's young. I've just been saying I don't want young players, but when they're quality young players, it's absolutely fine. What I don't want us to go out and sign is young players that are unheard of, that haven't proved it at the top level. Mainly for me, has proved it at the top level. And I would absolutely take him in a heartbeat. I'm going to go for about another 5 minutes, I think. Mainly, I just read that. I take Mainoo and Garnacho. For me, Garnacho, I'm just not sure. I think he's decent, but for me, he's just a bit, I don't know whether he's got an attitude. And maybe having an attitude is good. But he strikes me as a little mini Ronaldo. as he's got Ronaldo's kind of attitude, but he's not got his talent. No doubt for me, there's a talent in there. And I think Garnacho's probably better than anything we have on the left. But by how much, I'm not sure. I'd rather go out and get a Grealish, totally different player, by the way. I know that. I just think we need some experience, a few experienced players who have been there, seen it, and done it. You know, Grealish has won everything. You know, he's played at the highest level now for many, many years. And for me, as I said before, I think he was stinted at City. I think he was made to play to a system a bit more. I think if we get the Grealish, it was at Aston Villa when he won the game, got the ball, drove at teams. I think that would be a really good signing. But let's see what happens. I don't actually think we'll get Grealish. I will just love him. But again, yeah, absolutely, Moen. Signing these players that will have a point to prove. If we can get players that, maybe Garnacho's that. Maybe Garnacho is that because he does have a point to prove. He's been slammed by a lot of United fans. By obviously the manager doesn't fancy him, so maybe he would be a good signing. We'll see, but I don't know. I can't see us getting both of them. And if we had the choice, I would take Mainu personally. Maybe signing for Spurs, Garnacho might be brought down to reality. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Rich saying, I'd take Garnacho in a heartbeat, desperate times. And this is where we are, isn't it? This is where we are. As I'm talking about Garnacho, I'm thinking, I really don't like him that much. You know, I'm actually thinking, yeah, but he's all right. He might actually do quite well. I keep seeing that goal that he scored against Everton thinking, yeah, he might do that for us. But it gets as the window goes on and we're not signing players, you get more and more desperate. Vassal Zen, I see Napoli is interested in Grealish this morning. Are they? I didn't see that. Yeah, that would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? Would Grealish go to Italy? Maybe. Good way of life. I'd love to live in Italy. But yeah, he might do. But we will see. I think, yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, guys, for sure. I think players are going to come, players are going to go. Hopefully Spurs are going to get some players in. Guys, before I go, as I said before, please like this show, please like the stream and subscribe to the channel. It really would mean the world. And yes, maybe pair up with De Bruyne again. That could be a thing. Guys, I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for putting up with the issues I had at the start of the stream. Much love to each of you. And I will see you. I'll probably see you during the week with the 2 marks at some point. And I will see you Friday for another breakfast with Pure Coys. Have a great Monday, guys. Have a great week. And as always, stay positive, stay poised, and stay Pure Coys.